This classic episode of the Electric Playground is brought to you by P&P Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 2001.
Welcome to Los Angeles, California.
We're at the biggest video game trade show on the planet.
It's the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Just call it E3.
Come on, we gotta go. Come on, let's go. Let's us to see. Let's get in here. Come on.
Today on EP, we take you to the Electronic Entertainment Exposition for a look at the hottest games of 2001. We also take you behind the scenes on the new Tomb Raider movie. And Tommy and I take our reviews to Hollywood, California. E3 2001 was a huge year for game players because it was the first time the GameCube and Xbox had playable software on display. The first thing we took a look at was the lineup for the Microsoft Xbox.
That on November the 8th, in the North American market, you'll be able to go into retail stores and you'll be able to get a box just like this with Xbox in it.
Why the Xbox and not the PlayStation 2?
The reason for that is the hardware itself. The Xbox has a hard drive, has more RAM, so it gave us a lot of possibilities to make bigger worlds than the other platforms. And we wanted to have a lot of stuff for people to do.
Talk to me a little bit about working on Shrek.
We exploit the power of the Xbox, and we make the game look as good as the DVD is going to look on your TV at home. That's our goal with this game.
Never really has there been enough computing power or enough technology to do it. But now we're in a position where we've got a pretty cool computer in the Xbox. Secondly, we've got the technology. Every person is simulated, every town, even down to every blade of grass.
When he set out to design the game, he wanted to create something that was really massive and took full advantage of the Xbox. And it's unique because it was the first game that really started development for the box. These 7,000 polys, when he runs around, all of his stuff moves and reacts to the environment.
He has 7,000 polys?
Yes.
Just one character?
Just that character has 7,000 polys.
Wow.
We can have all kinds of textures, up to 20 different snow textures within one environment. So you're riding around and there's deep powder.
Right.
If you're a little sick of the powder and you want to go a little faster, or you want to do jumps, you cut off onto the hard pack. 12,000 trees, the buildings with real-time reflections on the glass. The rider has real-time reflections on his goggles. So trying to get this realism across to the players can only be done with the Xbox.
One of the hottest stories of E3 this year was the Nintendo GameCube. This was the first time that North American game players were able to see the system and play some of its games.
To introduce you to what is unquestionably the best pure video game console ever developed. Ladies and gentlemen, Shigeru Miyamoto.
Let me introduce you to our new baby. Like all babies, it is small, but it will make a lot of noise.
The graphics on this is amazing. The water looks so real.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, when you're racing in one of the rain levels, or if the camera gets a little too close to the jet skier, rain pellets actually get on the camera that's following the character from behind. You can see the little riplets from the rain. It's very impressive.
This one's called Cameo. It's a new game from Rare. It's kind of what happens when you mix Zelda with Pokemon. Here's a quick look at Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. Now, this is the first time that Luigi is actually the hero, and he's got to save his brother Mario.
Rogue Squadron, check this out. It was one of my favorite games on N64, but this is totally different. I'm on the Death Star right now. Look at all this laser fire. It's incredible.
Could you please explain Pikmin project?
Pikmin ですか?
Yes, Pikmin is a new game that I've been working on. Lately, I have been into gardening at my house and learned quite a lot from the experience of making up my garden. I noticed many creatures and plants. So I came up with the idea of Pikmin, a kind of half animal, half plant, which inherits the characteristics of a plant or flower, and you can give instructions to hundreds of Pikmin.
I understand on good authority that you're a pretty big fan of video games.
Yeah, big fan of video games. What'd you have in mind? Did you bring me any video games today?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't. We had so much camera gear. So is there going to be a Scorpion King character in the Mummy Returns video game? Do you know?
Yeah, absolutely. The Mummy Returns video game wouldn't be complete without a Scorpion King character.
Absolutely.
For every good guy, you need that really, really bad guy.
Are you going to do any motion capture for the game at all?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I've done so many of that with obviously all the WWF games we put out. So yeah, I'd be glad to. It'd be great. What I really want to do is I want to get The Rock, contemporary Rock, facing the Scorpion King.
So who would win in that fight? Who do you think?
The Rock kicks ass like nobody else, contemporary. The Scorpion King kicked ass like nobody then, 3000 BC. One way or the other, somebody's getting their ass kicked.
Up next, we head back to E3 for the PlayStation 2 and PC.
Hey, Lee from PMP Games here, and I hope you're enjoying the Season 6 finale of the Electric Playground Classic. Season 7 starts next Saturday right here on youtube.com/EPNTV. Join us for the latest news and reviews from the world of video games. Papa some! Whoa, we haven't seen you since EP Classic Season 4 Episode 9. So what, you're back?
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer.
But yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Is that a reference to something? Not that I'm aware. PMPGamesOnline.com.
Your source for everything video games. Shop and support us while we support EP Classic.
You know, I missed you. Talking to yourself can be mighty lonely sometimes.
Talking to yourself? Hey, is my sandwich still in the fridge?
Wasn't that 6 months ago?
Microsoft and Nintendo didn't steal all the limelight this year. The second-generation PlayStation 2 games looked amazing.
We continue with the PlayStation 2 to deliver on the promise of content that is compelling, that is entertaining, and that is exciting and fresh to the consumer's minds.
The original game was based on watching too many American movies and watching all that overhead helicopter chase footage, which was the only camera we could use due to the limitations on the old hardware. But we always wanted to make an action movie when you actually felt like you were controlling a real character, and that's what we've done this time.
Let's talk about what James Bond can do in this game. Can he shoot?
James Bond can shoot.
Can he drive?
James Bond can drive.
Can he pick up women?
James Bond always picks up women.
Yes!
Everyone loves Batman, and we got a new game out. It's called Batman Vengeance.
Batman hasn't always had the best proper treatment in video games. I think with this one, we really want to give the players and major fans as well something they can really get into.
So basically, it's a riot game.
200 people running around. 5 principal characters are skinned, nearly 1,000 bodies each. Then we have 3 levels of detail. They've got dynamic culling on the special effects. There's at least 5 buildings that are destructible. Pick up all the objects in the streets. You have the rocket launchers.
So it's like Ready to Rumble meets Blitz on ice.
Absolutely. We're the first ever sports game with a 3D crowd. When there's a big hit near the glass, the crowd will bang on the glass. If there's a goal, they'll start throwing their hats on the ice. And if it's a bad game, they'll get up and walk out.
Obviously, it's the first Final Fantasy for PlayStation 2. So huge advancements, not only in terms of graphics and sound quality. For the first time as a Final Fantasy game, the character is going to be fully voice-overed.
Can we talk for a minute about the Final Fantasy movie?
Mr. Sakaguchi, who's the creator of the Final Fantasy series, planned this out as a Hollywood feature film. It's going to go beyond just our normal gaming community.
Although E3 2001 was considered the year of the console, there were also lots of incredible new games on display for the PC.
Talk to me about Battle Realms. What's this game all about?
Well, Battle Realms is a real-time strategy game set in a fantasy universe. We're doing a lot of things that you haven't seen before in terms of strategy. We have the effects of hide in the game. We have the effects of hiding in forests. Fire is a growing and living, breathing thing in our game that you actually have to put out. So all of those things will actually make it so you have to spend more time on the battlefield and less time in your base producing your units.
Everybody at the E3 show is talking about this game. Max Payne.
We're telling a very strong and deep story. We want action with meaning.
It's about adrenaline, it's about realistic cinematic content. The tech is really up and beefed up, and we really wanted an engine that could do what we wanted it to do. And there wasn't one available at that point, so we've done it ourselves.
Basically the massively multiplayer, huge game for people that have been scared away from those kinds of games in the past.
Right.
That's what you're looking for.
One of the major goals in the game is to make sure that even though it is massively multiplayer, that is true to the FPS market in general, meaning people don't need to pick up the manual. They can just jump in and play.
There's a lot of rolling terrain. Units go down, deforming to the terrain, effects that make the terrain warpable, rain effects. I mean, it's really obvious that we're taking full advantage of a very high-end 3D engine.
What's different with Shadows of Luckland that people haven't seen in EverQuest before?
Just about everything. We've upgraded the spell engine, we've upgraded the ability for roleplay, taking advantage of the X8 and the latest generation of video cards. You'll still be able to recognize the world, right? But they're going to see everything in a brand new light.
So what did you guys think of E3 2001? Did you have fun?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I thought Sega was amazing.
Jet Set Radio Future for Xbox from Sega.
The second generation PlayStation 2 stuff was amazing.
Oh, the Nintendo booth, very impressive.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is the most amazing thing you'll ever see. Gran Turismo 3 is absolutely realistic.
I liked Wave Race on the GameCube a lot, and I've been to 7 E3s. This was the best E3 show I've ever been to. The games were phenomenal.
Every year they get better.
This was the best E3 I've ever been to.
Is this the first E3 you've been to?
This is the first E3 I've ever been to.
We can't wait for E3 2002. There'll be second generation Xbox, second generation GameCube, third generation PlayStation 2.
Whatever system you get, there's going to be lots of great stuff. That's the bottom line.
I've got a question for you. What is the best-selling video game of all time?
That's a bit of a difficult question to answer because video games weren't really tracked too well in the early 80s. We could say Super Mario because it sold with millions of Nintendo Entertainment Systems, but my guess would be Tetris because it appeared on so many different platforms. It was packed in with the original Game Boy, and it may not have been the most money-making game of all time, but it's certainly probably the most widespread video game today.
If you have a question about the video game industry, visit our website at www.discovery.com/electplay.
This is The Rock from The Mummy Returns, and you're watching Electric Playground.
After this, EP talks with Angelina Jolie about the Tomb Raider movie.
How hot are the deals at PMP Games, your source for everything video games? About as hot as this Diablo Reaper Daddy chip I got from some guy on the web. Here goes nothing. It's hot! It's hot! And so are the sales at PMPGamesOnline.com. Support us while we support EP Classic. Play forever!
I'm here with Gary Gaber, who is the director of the brand new Star Wars real-time strategy game called Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds.
Galactic Battleground is a real-time strategy game, affectionately known as an RTS. It has Episode 1 civilizations as well as classic civilizations.
So Episode 4 stuff.
Episode 4, 5, and 6.
Now you guys went with like an isometric 2D engine this time as opposed to the 3D world.
Right.
Why did you choose that?
Amount of units, recognizability of the units, look of the art. We wanted something that looked really, really beautiful, and we felt that 2D was what delivered it still.
What's unique about developing art for this game?
Well, everything needs to read really quickly. When you're scanning over the world, you need to be able to see, okay, that's my command center. On top of that, you need to be able to tell if it's Rebel, Empire, or any of the other civs, and then to tell what technology level they're at.
As a special treat, LucasArts let us sit in on the Galactic Battlegrounds design meeting.
Jane, the man of the hour, our lead tester.
We've started crunching the numbers for balancing, kind of looking at all the units, making sure everything is balanced or is out of balance, and trying to get that feedback so we can change that as soon as possible to make those types of deadlines.
The other thing that we really wanted and why we went with the Genie engine from Ensemble was that we didn't want to keep having to develop formation technology or trails or things like that that all had to do with gameplay and art and story and, you know, taking it forward, but giving the players really a really cool Star Wars experience.
Now, are all of these units based on things we've seen in the movies before, or are you guys able to start creating your own stuff now?
Everything you saw on the ground in the movies is in this game. We also had to create lots and lots of new units that had never been seen, and we think this is a cool thing for the players.
Take us through some of these models that you have up on your screen here.
Sure.
This is a rebel trooper. He's a heavy trooper, as you can see. He's got a substantial weapon, and he's got a backpack and an ocular eyepiece. Here's one that everyone knows and loves. Here's the AT-AT. Here you can see this guy is a grenade trooper. Even though there is no grenade trooper in the Star Wars universe, you can look at this guy and believe that he's a Star Wars character. One of our animators did this without any kind of motion capture at all.
So you didn't get in the Darth Vader suit?
No, I keep that in the closet for special occasions. Meanwhile, back at the design meeting.
What we want to do is come up with sort of a box formation. Does somebody want to do the rebels? Let's see if we can, how the formation works. That was the grip of death. Oh, it's an incoming X-Wing. So we can see we probably need to do a little more work on our formations, but thanks everybody, thanks for coming, and we'll see you all next week.
We're here at IDOS in downtown San Francisco, and we're going to talk about the Tomb Raider movie. Now, this must be a pretty exciting time for you guys.
It is indeed.
How long has it taken to get Tomb Raider from the video game world into the movie world?
About 4 years, I guess, now.
What transpired along the way?
At that time, there wasn't a lot available for Laura and who she was as a character, you know? It wasn't like, you know, she walked around the game saying, I stand for this and I stand for that. So we sort of had to express her essence and who Laura was and who she wanted to be and what she stood for. And that was sort of where we started with the studio.
And it was sort of a little bit like James Bond on the surface and a little bit Indiana Jones underground, but you know, I could make it slightly futuristic in a way, I suppose. And so there was unlimited scope for me to just run riot with my imagination. And so that's when I said, you know, I want to do Tomb Raider.
And action! I couldn't figure out how I was going to act this character. And Simon said, no, you have to become this person. And so I worked really hard to be able to jump in her world and her skin a bit.
Angelina Jolie is going to be forever known now as Lara Croft. Did you guys make the right choice with her?
What I've seen, I saw her on set acting, etc., and man, she's fantastic. She is Laura. I mean, she's got it down. She's the accent, the mannerisms, everything. And she's amazing. She's absolutely the right choice.
I think if you're gonna put the guns on and wear her name, then you better be able to back it.
From the very first time I turned the camera on, I knew I was completely home and dry, and most of my work was done for me, and all I had to do was point the camera at Angie, and there was Lara Croft.
It's not that far of a stretch for me in my imagination, because I know women like this. I don't feel far from her. She's full of fun and fire, and is certainly enjoying everything about this. She winks, and she's cute, and she's silly, and she's just a bit naughty, which I love.
After this, Tommy and I head to Hollywood for reviews on the run.
It's the year 2000, and our shelves are lousy with used copies of best-selling N64 games like Super Mario 64, GoldenEye. Heck, you can get them for $10 to $15 a pop. I got a copy of Ocarina of Time Gold cartridge from a local rental place for $5 simply because they were looking to get rid of it. Will we have access to these games in the future via re-releases on future consoles, or will they simply be entombed with the Nintendo 64 when it goes the way of the dodo? What happens to licensed games when the license expires? What happens to games where the ownership is unable or unwilling to renew and upkeep their game for future generations to play? Our personal collections and scattershot approach to games preservation is noble, but if physical games media goes away in 10 to 20 years, we won't be able to save them all. I guess nothing gold can stay. Play forever.
We're talking about Toy Story Racer for the Game Boy Color. It's basically a 3D kart racing game, which is pretty impressive considering it is on the Game Boy Color. You got your Buzz Lightyear and your Woody and your Bo Peep and my personal favorite, Mr. Potato Head, of course. But the problem with this game is the controls. You know, it's really, really hard to steer your car. You push left and, you know, your thing flies to the left and you're flying off screen. You're literally struggling to play this game. The AI on the other characters is pretty non-existent. It comes down to this: you gotta have great gameplay in a small kart racing game like this, and that's what Toy Story Racer is lacking. I give it a 4.5. It's a bit of a bomb.
Reviews on the Run is brought to you by Walmart. Let's talk about Super Bombad Racing for the PlayStation 2. What'd you think?
based on a big Hollywood movie. You may have heard of it, Star Wars Episode 1.
It's just the same old stuff that we've been seeing for years and years and years. But the thing that I really don't like about it is the fact that all the hits are cheap.
It has cheap AI, because you can be at the front of the race and get hit by some cat at the back, and boom, all of a sudden you're in last place. It could have been a lot more attractive, and there could have been more stuff. There could have been more levels. There's only really about 8 or 9 different levels, but there's a lot of shortcuts and stuff like that that you can race through. But I mean, and the multiplayer is a major disappointment
well,
too.
the multiplayer slows down the frame rate,
it
plain and
bogs right
simple.
Down. Bogs right
you know,
down.
that's not good. I give it a 4, plain and simple. That's what it is.
I had good cheesy fun with this. I was expecting to hate it. I didn't hate it. I kept playing and playing, and I enjoyed winning the races. 6 out of 10. But Next Gen agreed with you, though. They gave it a 4. Okay, let's talk about another sort of kart-style racing game. It's called Rumble Racing for the PS2 from EA. What'd you think?
If you want realism, get Gran Turismo 3. Because
forget about this game.
Yeah, throw realism out the door, which is great, though, because that's what makes it fun.
Absolutely. Basically, what you're talking about here is a stunt-ridden racing game. You get power boosts, and there's also lots of power-ups that you can pick up. And the coolest power-up I've ever seen, you actually get a tornado.
Tornado.
You get a tornado in this game. It's absolutely enormous, and it sucks up everything in its path.
The best thing, which I dare everyone to do, is when you get in this game, go into first-person view,
oh my God,
and then start trying to do flips and backwards flips. Not only is it a game where you score points for stunts, though, that's just the stunt mode.
Yes, there's a stunt mode.
But there's also a tournament and racing mode, and the multiplayer mode is really good.
And the tracks are really original. You're racing through desert towns. You're on the LA Waterworks, which is like right out of Terminator, but with crazy jumps.
The amazing thing about this, too, is that there's so many different tracks to unlock and so many different cars to unlock. We're not talking 8 or 10 cars here. We're talking loads and loads of original, cool-looking cars and amazing tracks.
Totally value-packed.
But the graphics weren't the greatest, though, were they?
No. They're a little bit grainy, and they're just not as polished as you'd like to see in a PlayStation 2. But you know what? I'll take a fast frame rate and lots of power-ups and crazy stunts and all kinds of jumps. I like this game a lot. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I give it an 8.
All right, let's switch topics from racing completely. Let's talk about a real-time strategy game. It's called Fate of the Dragon. It's from Eidos for your PC. What'd you think?
Well, I mean, I'm so getting tired of these real-time strategy games. The only thing new about this game is that it takes place in ancient China, about 220 AD.
That's the element that I really liked about this game. It takes place in the time of the Three Kingdoms. The significance of these three kings really makes a difference.
Draw me in with nice, picturesque cinematics and storytelling. I didn't get any of that.
All right, we'll talk about the game then. There's sub-maps. There's one giant city map where you build all your units, and then you take your troops out and you go into sort of the travel map, and then you head over to the enemy camp map, and that's where you storm their walls and try to break in and do some damage to their village.
I loved Age of Empires. Right. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, if you're going to do something really cool and unique like this, make it a game like Tropico. That was cool, owning your own island.
Fate of the Dragon was fun. I mean, I had a good time with it, but not a lot new. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I give it a 3.5.
Okay, speaking of timeless heroes, let's talk about Spider-Man for the Dreamcast.
The thing with this game is it is an exact port of the PlayStation version. And when I mean exact, I mean exact. I mean, they didn't add anything. Now, Spider-Man on the PlayStation was a great game.
Yes, yeah.
But don't expect anything new. The cinematics in this game are really great. The storyline's really great. It's a little hard to control Spidey at first, but Spidey's a hard character to control because he can go anywhere, and that's the great part about it. But the amazing thing in this game, though, is all of the extras that you do get. The voice acting is amazing.
Yes, it is.
If only you'd taken that giant act to Vegas instead.
It was great on the PlayStation, it was great on the N64, and yes, of course, it is great on the Dreamcast as well. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I wanted it to be that much better, but it's still one that you definitely should pick up.
I give it a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's a rocking game. Good stuff. Let's talk about Mario Party 3. Now, this could possibly be the last Nintendo 64 game we ever review.
This game actually was fun to play. As simple as it is, it's basically like a board game.
It's a board game, and you're walking around from square to square, and you have different challenges. Most of the game
is just a series of mini games. And if you do have friends over, it's an awesome time. It's really fun to play with a bunch of people. Original Mario Party kind of started a genre with these party-style games, and there's been quite a few. There was a Sonic Shuffle, and I think there was a Crash Bash game for the PlayStation as well. This is, I'd say, the best out of all the party games that I've seen. The one-player mode is actually quite snappy. In the past, when you've played one-player games, they get kind of slow. But the best, of course, is having 3 friends with you and having a 4-player game. So I'm gonna give Mario Party 3 an 8 out of 10. How about you?
I give it an 8 also.
We're agreeing?
On a Nintendo game besides.
That can't be right.
It's incredible.
Hey, I got something for you.
What's that?
Hooray for Hollywood! Da 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 Hollywood! Yeah! Hooray for Hollywood! That's all the lyrics I know. Where are you going? To purchase any games featured in Reviews on the Run, visit a Walmart near you. If you'd like us to review a specific game, visit our website at www.electplay.com. E3 2001, it's all done.
We had a blast.
We will see you next time on the Electric Playground.
Bye.
There's no business like
singing.
show business, like no business.
I'm not
I know.
being a dork on camera.
Everything.
If any of that makes the credits while it's rolling up, there's going to be trouble.
There's no business
He's not
like
done.
no business, like no business. I know.
It better not make it.
All right.
Aaron, you know who I'm talking about. Fix being a
Everything-
dork.
No.
You know what the lyrics are?
Are you done yet?
There's no business.
Give me that!
This classic episode of the Electric Playground was brought to you by P&P Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support the Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.